Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you with another Let's Play episode of Echo. So the last time we left off in Echo, we had just walked into a diner, and a new character, Clint, raggedy-looking critter, decided to come up to us and, in no uncertain terms, let us know that he doesn't like two guys showing affection to each other in public. So, this episode, we shall see if Leo uses Clint's face as a punching bag. Let's get right into it, shall we? Well, it kind of looks like you dumped your own ass, Clint. What happened to you? I can see Clint's brain work as he digests what I said, deciding whether or not he should be offended. I can also see his tail twitching behind him, and it's patchy too, leaving some parts of it bald, like a rat's tail. Actually, Clint, you're right. We're all trying to eat. But there's a smelly, ugly, ring-tailed skeleton ruining it for us. Clint flicks his attention from me to Leo, who smiles sweetly at him. Mind doing us all a favor and getting the fuck out? Clint leans in low to the table, putting his face up next to Leo's. Leo keeps a straight face, and I'm impressed because I can smell the stench of Clint's breath even from here. Think you're funny? I'm not going to say that word. I'm not going to say that either. If you're trying to make me mad, you might as well do it right, eh? Leo takes a sip from his milkshake nonchalantly while Clint gapes at him. His brain, which I imagine is Swiss cheese at this point, tries to come up with some kind of retort. Go fuck yourself. Came across as really stereotypically Southern. Yeah? Well, I'd tell you to do the same, but you've got a sister at home, don't you? Ooh. Oh, Leo. Shouldn't have said that. Clint moves fast, swinging a fist up and around towards Leo's jaw. Leo's ready for him and lunges to the side, though the fist still glances the side of his face. He grabs Clint's arm and yanks him down onto the table, which knocks over my milkshake and sends it splashing into my lap. I gasp and stand up and move to the side of the table while Leo starts to rub Clint's face into the mess, smashing into the table a few times. Stop it! I jump as Janice shouts right next to me. Leo hears her too and turns around while still holding Clint down. The dead look is still in her eyes and the fur on her face is matted, like she'd been crying a lot but hadn't washed since. I'm not gonna deal with this today, Leo. You know Clint started it. Leo's ears are flat as he looks back at Janice, clearly thrown off. Underneath him, Clint snarls and thrashes. Am I gonna have to get the taser from the back? Slowly, Leo backs off of Clint, who immediately shoves himself off the table. I can see Leo prepare himself in case Clint takes another swing, but he doesn't even look at him. His already dirty tank top smeared brown from the milkshake, he stumbles to the door and disappears outside. And clean up that fucking mess before you leave. With that, the old coyote turns and stalks off to the back. She leaves me and Leo to stare at each other before we ruefully wipe up the spilled milkshake with brown napkins. There are only two other patrons in the diner with us, a skunk and a jackrabbit. But I can feel their eyes on us the whole time, and it only adds to the embarrassment. What do you think her problem is? I ask Leo under my breath as we come back from the tossing the ball of wet napkins in a trash can. He just shrugs, though, and I follow him quietly out of the diner into the late afternoon light outside. Ooh, pretty. We walk in silence for a while, with me walking awkwardly because my soaked and sticky pants are incredibly uncomfortable on my thighs. We stop at the motel where I change and shower before grabbing a fresh change of clothes. Then we start back out again. I think about staying behind at the motel, but I feel like that would be a dick move after what Leo's been through today. As we walk back, Leo takes a detour, stopping at the convenience store. The fight has made things a little awkward between us, so I just shove my paws into my pockets and follow Leo. We go to the back where he grabs a 12-pack. He doesn't say anything to me either as he makes his way to the front to pay. Finally, when we're back outside, he nudges me in the direction behind the convenience store. Let's sit. I lead the way because we've both done this dozens of times before. We step off the asphalt and down a little ways into the brush where Leo pulls me up onto a boulder. Leo sighs, pulling out the first beer bottle. Leaning back, he pulls out his keys to use the bottle opener on his keychain before handing it over to me. He does the same thing for himself, then practically chugs the whole thing before grabbing another even before I'm able to take my first swig. I don't comment on it, and instead look out at the sunset, thinking about how nice it would be to just sort of run off into the wilderness. At least for a little while. I lean back and sigh, noticing a white and brown splotch on the knee of Leo's jeans. What you said to Clint, that was pretty mean. He said some pretty mean stuff too, and it's not like I like saying that shit to him. Seeing me lying back, Leo shifts closer to me, allowing me to rest my head against his thigh. Oh, here come the yawns again. Again, the familiar position probably isn't a good idea, but I just don't care. So does Clint still live with his dad? No, he went to prison 2 years ago. Really? Because of... Yeah. Shit. We sit in silence, enjoying our quiet surroundings. As I lay there, I hear Leo open another bottle, then another. Finally, he lets out a big sigh. Chase, come back to Echo. Oh, sorry. I gotta do my Leo voice. Chase, come back to Echo. I close my eyes, turning my vision blood red against the sunset. Maybe, just not yet. He doesn't press the issue, instead reaching out for another bottle. By the time I get to my second one, the rest are gone. Oh, that's beautiful. Kind of reminds me of Arizona. I forget what state this takes place in. If someone in the comments can help me, I'm wondering if this takes place in like Arizona or Nevada or something. As we walk back to Leo's house in silence, he occasionally brushes his tail up against my own. I let him. He's mildly drunk, so he's sort of excused for now. I do have to push his muzzle away when he leans up against me for some support after his feet hit a sudden dip in the road. Uh-oh. I'm busy trying to steady him when I hear footsteps pounding up behind us. Before I know it, Leo shoved me hard to the side, and I go stumbling into the weeds. Uh-oh. Rolling around, I see a dark figure running off to the side from Leo. His attack aborted as he saw the wolf had seen him. Ah, shit. He comes back around, and I immediately see that it's Clint, and he's got a crowbar in one paw. Shit! My stomach drops as I look from him to Leo, who's got a giant smile on his face like this is exactly what he wanted to happen. What the hell? Come back for more, Clint? Clint doesn't say anything. Instead, he just screams and runs at Leo again. Usually, I wouldn't be worried about Leo in a fight with Clint, but the crowbar and the fact that Leo can barely stand has me really worried. Leo backpedals, then ducks low and lunges forward, which I don't think Clint expects. His grunt is guttural, but to my surprise, he doesn't go down. Instead, he grips the back of Leo's shirt before raising the crowbar and bringing it down hard into Leo's back with a solid, meaty thud. Ow! I gasp and cringe, starting to jog towards them. Clint presses forward and Leo trips over something, landing on his butt. Clint raises the crowbar again and Leo raises a paw. For about 2 seconds, they play a game with Leo moving his paws around above his head, anticipating the swing. Clint, meanwhile, keeps trying to re-angle the crowbar so that Leo will miss. He doesn't get a chance, though, because that's when I reach them. I'm not exactly a good fighter, considering I've never been in a fight before. But the idea of Leo getting hit in the face, getting his face beaten in with a crowbar, provides me with the terror that spurs me on. I jump on his back, grab a handful of the fur on his forehead, and yank back as hard as I can. I guess I should have hit him or something, but it seems to work alright. His remaining teeth flash in the porch light, and I get a hot blast of his rancid breath as he snarls angrily. Suddenly, I'm sitting down on the asphalt, feeling like my forehead had just caved in. He must have somehow swung the crowbar back and hit me. I desperately rub at my head, imagining the skull shattered into a million pieces like an egg, but everything feels like it's still in shape. The fight's still going on, and now I can hear Leo snarling. It's not a sound that I've heard that often, but it's deep and way scarier than anything Clint could have managed. I try to focus on the spot that I see their bodies tangled together. When I do see that Clint's on top again, the crowbar raised, pointy end down, aimed at Leo's face. I start to crawl towards him, but there's no way I'm going to make it. Again, the sound of something hard striking flesh, but this time it isn't Clint hitting Leo. It's Clint that hisses in pain this time as he arches back, baring his fangs. There's a dark shape behind him, but before I can focus on it, Leo's massive paw smashes into the side of Clint's face. Leo's not playing this time. In fact, it looks like he put everything he had into that punch, and the sound it makes is like a slab of beef being thrown against concrete. Clint's body visibly goes slack before he slumps down against Leo, only to be shoved roughly to the side. I crawl up next to the wolf and he looks over at me as I do. His paw immediately goes to my head to steady it as he looks closer at my face. Fuck, did he hit you? That's when I realize that I have a massive headache and feels like it's full of water. I rub a spot that itches a bit right above my eyebrow, and my pads come away slightly dark and bloody. That fucking piece of shit! Leo sends a back fist into the side of the downed Clint's face. Hey, that's enough, Leo! That's when I remember that it was someone else that actually saved Leo. The voice is familiar, but it isn't until I look up at the source that I recognize Kudzu. He's breathing hard and he's holding the crowbar that Clint dropped. The dark spots around his eyes blend in with the night and accentuate how wide his actual eyes are. He looks spooked. What the hell are you guys doing? He sounds pissed and I feel a little defensive. Hey! He tried to run up on us! Kudzu's eyes flick over to look at me before focusing back on Leo. I thought we had this shit figured out. Why the hell are you fighting again? I don't really get why this Kudzu guy is freaking out so much. His nostrils flare with each breath. You'd think he was the one that almost got his brains run through with a crowbar. Calm the fuck down. You know how Clint is. He wouldn't do half the crap he does if you didn't antagonize him so much. You say he was a bully, but from what I've seen, it's the reverse. It's hard to think of Leo as a bully, but the way he had acted towards Clint in the diner was a bit much, even if it was Clint. Hey, if he can't take it, then maybe he shouldn't dish it, eh? Leo grins and sticks out a paw to Kudzu, who glares, but nevertheless reaches down to help him up. Leo promptly pulls me up with him. As I get to my feet, a wave of dizziness instantly hits me, and I stumble into Leo. Fuck! See? Leo steadies me and looks into my eyes, worry etched all over his face. I'm fine. I just got dizzy for a sec. And that is where I am going to pause it. Wow, okay, that was definitely an action-packed episode of Echo. Damn. Didn't expect things to escalate that quickly. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell until the next episode. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!